Welcome to Using Excel to Collect Map Data, part of the Lab 7 ArcGIS online instructions. So here we are in our spreadsheet that you should have already set up in step 1. We have our location, Google Maps location, the X, the Y, the URL, and the source fields. And then we have our 10 locations listed. Okay, but for this lab, we're only going to use 5 or 6 of those, but you will have to complete all 10 for lab 8. Okay, so we'll get started here. We're going to go to Google Maps to find our location, our coordinates for London. So go to Google Maps, click in the search Google Maps, put in London, UK, or wherever your first location is, of course. Now, when you come to the map, you can choose to right-click on a red map point like this, or a specific map point that somebody else has put there. Okay, so you right-click on it, choose what's here, brings up this rectangle down here. You get the picture, some information, and the coordinates are listed. And the best way to copy these coordinates is to start on the left and click and drag your mouse across them to select them, and then right click and copy, or Control C or Command C, however you copy. Then we go back to Excel and we paste that into our cell right next to the location. Now your text may come in as blue and underlined, or it may come in as black. It doesn't matter, because ArcGIS Online does not use these coordinates, use this format to map the points. What we have to do is we have to break these numbers down into X and Y coordinates for it. So the X coordinates are the second set of numbers, and the Y coordinates are the first set of coordinates. So we'll enter those appropriately. And if you have a negative sign in front of your number, you have to remember to type that, or you'll end up somewhere else on your map. Okay, so we have the X coordinates, we have the Y coordinates. So go ahead and repeat those steps for the rest of your locations. Okay, so there's all of our locations. Now, if your X and Y coordinates, if they rounded up or rounded down for the numbers, that's okay. ArcGIS will be able to find them. Now we're going to add our website links or URLs. Now you have two choices. Either you have a picture out on a picture website like Instagram or Pinterest. I have mine on Shutterfly, okay? And you can use this. And so you want to be able to copy the address by selecting it, copying it, come back in to Excel, and then you're going to paste that in. Now, if you're concerned about it overwriting all of these columns like this, you can put your mouse between the E and the F columns. It should turn into a double-headed arrow, and you click on that, and it will widen the column to fit the text. Okay. Now the source. Now, if it's your picture page, your website, your picture, you can use yourself as the source. Okay, so we'll do that. Put my name in there because it's my picture on my website. But what if you run into a site that you don't have pictures of? Like I don't have pictures of Lincoln. So I go back out to the web and I find, here's a lovely picture of the Nebraska State Capitol. So I copy that address, come back to the spreadsheet, paste it in there. Now for a source for this, you could just paste the URL as the source again, or you could shorten it and take the HTTPS out of there and just have capital.nebraska.gov. Okay, but you do have to have something, because what we're going to do in Lab 8 with story maps is we're going to be making a publicly available website, and you don't want to be accused of plagiarism or copying people's information, so be sure to get your sources so you can quote them, you can add their information on your website. Okay, just like writing a paper and you have citations, you're going to need sources here as well. We've added the rest of our locations and sources here. Now we need to save this file. Okay, so we go to File, and we go to Save As, and we want to make sure that we choose Lab 7. Okay, now we're going to give it a name, and it can be a useful name. Mine's Lab 7 Map Points, because that's what it is. Now, before we save it, we need to click this drop-down arrow here because we need to change the file type to CSV, comma delimited or comma separated values is what CSV stands for. Now, a CSV file is the most basic spreadsheet file type there is. Any good spreadsheet program can create a CSV file, and a CSV file is then readable by many other programs, whereas they may not be able to read an XLSX file. Okay, so we choose that and we save it, and then you can close Excel and you can continue on with your lesson.